Well, here we are again. I just had the urge to do a little recording. I'm down at the Greenway Trail in Lilburn. I just finished a drill workout and I just got the urge to do a little recording. I don't even know where I left off. It's been so long since I actually put out a podcast. Well, at least a month and a half, 2 months, I guess. It's time for episode 127 of the LostTrailRunner Podcast. Hey everybody, here we are once again. You'll hear this background noise. This comes from the trail race I ran this past weekend. I ran the Charleston Park Trail Race, which was held at Haw Park in Forsyth County due to Charleston Park being underwater. It's right on the edge of Lake Lanier, and Lake Lanier is above its maximum pool level right now by about, I think, 5 feet, which puts the start-finish line of Charleston Park about 3 feet underwater, from what I understand. So the race got moved, and in the process, the 4.3 mile race I was going to run was then turned into a 3.3 mile race. And race report on that. It started at 8:30 on Saturday morning. I thought it was going to be a decent day. It turned out to be, when I went out and got my car in the morning to head over to Haw Park, it was misting, and as I got over there, the temperature was going down, I believe, because it was supposed to have been in the 50s, and when I finished the race it was like 47 degrees. So it was, but the thing was is it didn't bother me a bit. I wasn't cold. I was just comfortable, and I just ran on the trail, enjoyed myself. I didn't push particularly at all. I just kind of ran my own thing. I started near the back of the pack and just slowly picked up some people. Not too many, because there were some spots on the trail where there was no possible way to pass. Every time I'd try to jump past somebody, I'd end up either off the trail into a tree or something like that, you know. So I just kind of bided my time as I ran until, you know, a spot would open up where I could get through. But it all worked out well. I ended up winning my age group. Of course, that's not that big of a deal since I was the only one in it. But what I did do was compare other age groups to me to see how I stood, and it looked like if I would have been running in the 60-64, I probably would have come in about third, which made me feel like maybe I'm not a total slouch, you know. I think I would have come in second in the 70 to 74, which is the age group below me, because the guy that won that age group always wins that age group, from what I understand. I'm putting coffee in the microwave to heat it up. Actually, it's on a Tuesday afternoon, and I'm getting ready to head out to run. It's actually in the probably high 60s and sunny, which is totally different than last Saturday was. But the thing that I really liked was when I got up that morning, I wasn't, some mornings I'd get up and get ready to go to a race, and I'm just not with it. I'm going, oh, I just soon roll over and go back to sleep. But Saturday, I really didn't feel that way. I got up, got dressed, got ready, got out of the house. The only thing that I screwed up was I wanted to get over to the park by about 7 because there was limited parking. And if you didn't get there early, you weren't going to get a parking space in the parking lot at Haw Park. I think it's Haw Creek Park, basically. And you would have to park at a school, which was probably it was over a quarter of a mile down the road. They said it was a quarter of a mile, but it was a little over a quarter of a mile. So that's what I screwed up, because I wanted to get out of here and get over there by 7. So I got out of here 20 minutes later than I'd planned on. So I got over there at 20 after 7, and there were no parking spots, and I had to go to the school to park. And it was misting already, when I got there. So I had to walk back to the park on the side of the road in the wet grass. So I got my feet wet to start before I even went and ran in the race. But it wasn't really that bad of a deal. I had my Lone Peak 3.5s on, and those are just such good shoes. My Ultra 3.5 Lone Peaks. I really do like them. In fact, I don't think there's a pair of Ultras that I dislike. I had been running my daily runs in a pair of Ultra Olympuses. They're a trail shoe, but you can run with them on pavement. And they got maximum cushioning. And I forget what I had run one day and posted on Strava, and this will all come back to Ultra here in a minute. And I got kudos, and I looked at the kudos, and I got a kudo from Golden Harper. Well, Golden Harper's the guy that invented Ultra shoes. And so in that particular post, I had posted that I was wearing the Olympus 2s that I got. And I call them Olympus 2s. They're like the original Olympus, the first model. But I've got 2 pairs of them, so the 2 is the second pair that I have. And he gave me kudos, and I clicked on his link, and he was having a discussion with somebody about a jacket, I guess a rain jacket, and I just kind of butted in, not really butted in, but I said, I know that y'all are talking about a jacket, but I was wondering if there's a road equivalent to the Olympus. And I knew there was, I just didn't know the name of it. And he sent me a message back, and he said, yeah, the Paradigm is the road shoe that's equivalent to the Olympus. And so I ordered a pair of those Paradigms. I got some Paradigm 4.0s, and I've got them on right now. I'm getting ready to go run, and they feel really good. So, I mean, I don't know how many pairs of Ultras I got. I got Lone Peak 3.0s, 3.5s, 2 pairs of Olympuses, this pair of Paradigms. I've got 3 pairs of Torrens. I've got, I think, 2 pairs of Torren 2.0 and 1 pair of Torren 3.0. And then I've got some, I think they were called Instincts. Those were like the first ones I ever got. I think the Provision was the first Ultra I ever got, and then I got Instincts, and then and I kept going. So I must have at least 10 pairs of those shoes, which I just like them. They're zero drop, and they're comfortable. I ran the Galloway half in my Olympus 2s back in December, and my legs were fine and my feet were comfortable. Drinking my coffee. But I figured I didn't want to wear the treads off of the Olympus by just running on the roads with them, so that's why I wanted to get these Paradigms, because it's the same amount of stack but in a road shoe. And they're really good looking shoes. They're the knit, the fabric on the top of them's knit instead of that other stuff. So they're good looking shoes. So I'm heading out to probably Mountain Park to do a what I call a tempo run. It's like a 10-minute warm-up, 20 minutes faster, and then 10-minute cool down. And today is not going to be a major push to try to go fast. I'm just going to run and enjoy myself. And I will be back later on. Okay, see ya. Well, a little while ago I said that I was going to go down to Mountain Park and run in my new Ultra Paradigms. Well, once I got in the car, I decided I would go to Camp Creek Greenway Trail down by Lilburn Park and run down there instead, because it's a longer trail. The one over at Mountain Park's like a little loop around about a mile, and you got to do some creative running to get your distance in without running circles. So I just came over here to Camp Creek and got in a 5K run with my new Paradigms, and I'm liking them. They got the same cushioning as everything as my Olympus has had, just like I'd hoped for. So everything's working out. They were a little stiff to start out because they're brand new, but it only took about a half mile and they were feeling good. I think they're updated, way updated from my Olympuses, because my Olympuses were like the original ones, and these are like Paradigm 4.0s. So there's been at least 3 other versions of Paradigms before these. So the very first Paradigm would have been what was exactly like my Olympuses. So anyway, they got a lot of cushion, but they're not too spongy. Some shoes you could have a lot of cushion and they would just be so spongy they would be uncomfortable, but these aren't that way. They're just right. So I got a little over 3 miles on my new shoes, and I'm getting ready to leave Lilburn Park's parking lot, and I hear a train. Yeah, there's a train track right by the park, and so looks like I'm going to have to wait for the train to the past couple of weeks I've been starting to have trouble with my lower back. on my right side. And I guess I might have to start going to a chiropractor or something, because it doesn't seem to be getting better. I mean, it doesn't keep me from running and things like that. But if I sit down for quite a while and I stand up, boy, it's hard to stand up straight. It takes a while to get, upright. So I guess I'm going to have to go get somebody to jump up and down on my back. I've got a power dot, and I just ordered some replacement pads for it. And it's one of those electrical shock type things. I used it a couple of times on my back, and it seems to help a little bit, but I hadn't been that consistent. But I just received the replacement pads for it today in the mail, so I'm going to start using it in the morning when I get up, and in the afternoons or evenings every day. Try to be consistent and see if that helps. And then I'm going to try to find a chiropractor that's more of a sports chiropractor, because a regular old chiropractor, I mean, they're okay, but they don't seem to know how to isolate what my problem is. They just kind of do their overall general bone cracking thing, or whatever it is they do. But I need some specific sports therapy, I think. So that's what I'm going to try to get, and hopefully that'll work out. I had a race plan. This is the first part of April now, and I had a race plan, a trail race plan for May 4th, but I'm going to get cataract surgery May 2nd on one eye, and then the next day is they check it, so that'll be the 3rd, and then the race is on the 4th. So my training plan has been modified, and that race has been taken off my schedule, and my coach Chris Twiggs has modified my plan to where I'm just doing recovery, basically walks for about 10 days in that period of time, because on the 2nd I'm going to get one eye done, and then the next week I'm going to get the other eye done. And then hopefully I'll be able to see where I'm running on the trail, That'll be it'll be like a revelation, right? Know where I'm running on a trail. So I hope that it works out. They say that, cataract surgery is just pretty much, no big deal anymore. But when somebody's cutting on your eyeballs, it just, to me, it's just, gets to me. But I'm going to get it done. I've been putting it off. I go to the ophthalmologist about twice a year, I guess. Maybe once a year. I don't know. And the last couple of times that I went and had my eyes checked, he said, you got cataracts now, and they're fairly new cataracts, so if we take them out now, they're a whole lot easier than when they really get hard and aged. So that's what I'm going to do, is get those removed, and hopefully that'll help my running. I know it'll help my driving at night, that's for sure. So I just finished a drill workout today, which, as you probably know, is one of the Galloway workouts, where you warm up for 10 minutes and then you do some, what do they call those things? Cadence drill, where you're counting your steps for 30 seconds, trying to increase every 30 seconds. So you run for 30 seconds, counting your steps, walk for 30 seconds, and then do it again and repeat it for 5 minutes. And then I go into acceleration gliders, where you 15 steps you're jogging, then 15 more you pick up the pace, 15 more you're doing basically race pace. Then you walk to recover for, I walk for 30 seconds, and then I do it over again. Do that for 5 minutes, and then I do 10-minute I guess you could call it race pace. It's probably less than race pace for 10 minutes, and then cool down for 10 minutes. And it's a pretty easy workout, and it gives me structure. And that's what I like about doing a training plan, is having the structure. I could do it on my own. I've run since 1972 consistently. So I know training. I've been doing it forever. But just having somebody, kind of to be reporting to and talking to about it helps. I really never did have a coach in all those years. Not even back in the mid 80s, I was on the Atlanta Track Club Masters team and didn't even have a coach then. Of course, when I was on the Masters team, that's when I ended up getting plantar fasciitis the first time, and that ended that. I didn't last very long on the Masters team. I think I was on about a year, close to a year, I guess. I was part of that time I was hobbling with plantar fasciitis, and then I finally just had to get it worked on. And so I've never really had a coach. I mean, I've gone through various training plans. Back in that period of time, I had Tom Osler's book, if you're interested. That's a pretty good training book. I like that one. Arthur Lydiard's book, I used to train using his stuff. Basically, it was time, and it was like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday was a half-hour run. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday was like an hour run, and Sunday was an hour and a half most of the time when I was using it. And what other training plans have I used? Of course, and then I got Jeff Galloway's first book and used it for a while. That was before he was doing the run, walk, run. And of course, I also went to quite a few distance camps up near Brevard, North Carolina, that Roy Benson put on, and he also put out a book on training. And he had effort-based training and was heart monitor. He was one of the first people that I can remember that you actually started using a heart monitor for training. And that's where I got my first heart monitor, at one of his running camps. And I've been using the heart monitor ever since. So the end of this month, I'll be on hold for probably about 10 days. I'll just be walking, and then I should be able to get back to my training plan after my eye surgery and everything, and do a build up to Peachtree. And maybe, I could do a decent Peachtree for a change. I haven't done one in quite a few years, so we'll see. Anyway, I guess I'll go for now. I'm sitting here in my car. I got home from the park, and see you later.
Hey, thanks for listening to today's podcast. We'll be here next time. Keep the emails coming in and be sure to subscribe.